Hi there, my name is Anne-Marie. Welcome to lesson 5 of how to play the saxophone for complete beginners. By now, you should have established a nice warm-up routine. But if not, do the warm-up from the previous lesson, lesson 4, but just add the note E. How to play the note F sharp. This is how you play the note F sharp. Now, you remember how to play the notes D and E with your octave key? Here's your octave key, all fingers on for D, and you take this one off for E. Well, to get to F sharp, you take this one off and you just leave your middle finger on there. And that's your F sharp. And this is what it sounds like on an alto. And this is what it sounds like on a tenor. This is what it looks like on a stave. Pause the video and practice playing this exercise. Now practice moving between the notes D, E, F sharp, back down to E and then to D. Do this several times until you can do it comfortably and at a good speed. Take your time with it at first and gradually get faster. Now listen to me play the following exercise and then play along with me. The sheet music will be on the screen for you to follow. On an alto sax. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. On a tenor sax. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. To play the G major scale. But what is a scale? A scale is a series of notes that starts on one note, ascends or goes upwards in pitch to the next highest note, which will be an octave higher. And then you come back down again to the starting note. And that note that you start on is the tonal center, or the most important note in that scale. A song is based on notes in any one scale. And you also use scales to help you practice to get your fingers moving quicker. Here's a visual trick to help you understand how a scale looks. You start on your bass note, which is G, and you go one note up at a time until you get to the next G, which is an octave higher. And then you go one step down at a time until you get to your starting note. Keep this vision in your head when learning your G major scale. Now, before you start learning your scale, you're going to practice using your octave key, moving from your bottom G to the next highest G. Your bottom G, as you know, looks like this, and a G, an octave higher, looks like this. Watch me do the following exercise, then pause the video and you practice. You may have to tighten your mouth around the mouthpiece to get the high G. Alto saxophone. Tenor saxophone. Now it's time to practice the scale going up and down. Watch me do it, and then it's your turn. And gradually get faster. Now notice, I'm not putting any sheet music up for this. You need to learn this one off by heart and keep it in your head. You need to aim to, first of all, go up or ascending in one breath, and then come down, descending in one breath. And the ultimate aim is to ascend and descend, or go up and down, all in one breath. Now that's going to take a lot of practice, so please don't rush this. Take your time with it. Alto sax. Tenor sax. Now here's a bonus scale. It's the pentatonic scale, and it's a great scale if you want to learn to start improvisation. Now you'll notice that between the lower G and the upper G, it's an octave apart. An oct, that part of the word means 8, because there are 8 notes in the scale. If you include the high G, well, the pentatonic scale, surprise, surprise, has 5 notes in it. To form your G major pentatonic scale, you start off with your G major scale and you just miss out the 4th note, which is a C, and the 7th note, which is an F sharp. Listen to me play it, and then you try it. And just like with the major scale, start off slowly and gradually get faster. Alto saxophone. Tenor saxophone. Tonguing versus slurring. Now, when you see sheet music like this with no other markings on it, it's more or less telling you to tongue every note. But the line that you see here, that joins the first G to the last G, is called a slur line. And what that's telling you to do is not to play each note separately when you tongue, but it's almost like you join them together and play it in one breath. Now, these are also slur lines, but here you tongue the first G and you slur up to the A. Then you tongue the B and you slur down to the A. I'm now going to do examples of all three. Listen very carefully so you can hear the difference, and then you're going to try it. Now, it's not easy, so you're not going to get it right first time, but practice makes perfect, and it will really make your sound a lot better. Alto sax. Slurring. Slurring and tonguing. Tenor sax. Now for some reading practice. Now, I know you know this song, you've played this one already, but this time you're using a different set of notes. You're starting on an F sharp. This would be using the D major scale, which you haven't learnt yet, but the first three notes of the D major scale are D, E, and F sharp. So it will sound just like Mary Had a Little Lamb when you played it in the key of G, but this time you're using a different set of notes. Now, I've been kind to you here, and I've written the letter names and the solfa underneath. But pause the video, practice this, make sure you can play it, and then play the next two songs in the next slide. They don't have the letter names or the solfa, so that's some sight reading practice for you. But you know the songs already. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I hope you learnt a lot from it. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, bye-bye.